there, Sue Wilson back, and I have some hexagons we're playing with today. These are so much fun. Just love the way they look. So we will show you what we're using. Oop, get a hold of everything here. I have our sentiment coming from the Amazing Sentiment set. It's a clear stamp set by Creative Expressions. We are doing a bit of embossing using the Aztec Flowers. It's an 8x8 embossing folder from Creative Expressions. Part of our frames and tags section, we have the Scarlett die. I'm going to use that as a focal element. I'm going to show you a different flower you can make with the Pinwheel Florals. It's a lovely set with some beautiful foliage in it. And the base on the card is made with the Lavish accented hexagons. Right. So I'm going to start by doing a little bit of embossing. I've got a piece of coconut white card. Let me get my ruler out. And it is 7 1/8 inch square. So I'm going to bring over the Aztec flower folder, and it has a nice geometric look to it, so we want to make sure we put it in good and straight. Line that up. I usually try and find the centers of some of the crosses and put the tips in there. Goes straight onto the base plate, and the raspberry adapter goes on top. Somebody did ask me recently about why I use the raspberry plate as opposed to the white adapter plate. And basically, anytime you have an 8-inch or larger folder, you're going to go directly to the raspberry plate. You don't need a tan mat. And then when you have smaller folders that are, 5x7 or something like that, then you're going to put a tan mat over and use the thinner Creative Expressions white adapter plate on it. I think I'll just go ahead and put that onto my backing, and we can build up from there. We'll just use a bit of glue. Give it some bit in the middle there. Pop that right into the center. There we go. Now on the original, I've got little pearls at all the junctions there. I'm not going to do that for the end of the video, but you'll know. Okay, next I've done some cutting already because there's lots of little bits to knock out of here. And what I've used is all of the decorative rings in the Lavish accented hexagons right there without the center cutting edges. So you've got 3 really pretty rings. Now what I wanted to do was to have some of these accented with color and some with vellum. So I've used the other cutting edges that are in between to cut out some iris card in the shapes that I want, and we'll back with those. And then I've got a piece of vellum that will go over it. So I find the easiest way to do this is just spray the entire back. We'll put the iris ones in place and then put the vellum on top of that. So working from the back, I'm just going to cover that outer section right there and the inner section with the iris. So it'll just look like that's poking through. And then I've done a larger piece of the vellum here, and that will just fit right over the other sections. There we go. So you can see I've got a really soft look from the vellum coming through, and then I've got the iris coming through those 2 rings. Now the next thing I wanted to do was add a really tiny border. So what I did was I went to the double stitched hexagons and used 2 of the outer dies there, and I made it very thin border. Now you could cut the whole shape with the dies if you want. I find it's just a bit easier to put the frame on and cut around it. That way I know I've got exactly enough card there to put my frame on. Just peel a little bit of the backing foam paper off. Get a hold of this. And it's a very thin frame. So you want to just sort of eyeball top and bottom where you want it to go. And lay it down in place. I find that's the easiest way. And then just give it a little push on there. And bring over your scissors. And just go slow, but you can just nip away the extra bits here. Maybe get right under the edge there. it won't show. There we go. And you notice I'm keeping my scissors at an angle. So I'm trying not to hit that frame. There we go. Now I want to raise this up a little bit for some dimension. I've got some mounting foam, so I'm going to just peel these off and pop them on the backing. There we go. Oop, short one. I'll put that one there. And I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll put one here and I'll just fold this one in half so I have double on all of them. There we go. And that'll keep it nice and sturdy in the center. Okay, so let's move all of this away. Oops, it's still a little sticky. Get that out of the way. Bring our backing over and get that last piece off. And you can put this on any direction you want. I've decided to have the points at the top. A little bit over the edge there and there. The next thing I did was I cut the Scarlett die, and this is a beautiful die. And you have the decorative inner piece, and then you have an outer piece. And I cut the decorative inner and the outer to get the outside frame. And then I just used the outside to cut the vellum, and I put that back on as a backing. A little bit of mounting foam in the center there. Pop that right in the middle. So pretty. And I've done a sentiment, a little bit of shaded lilac ink around the edge. And I've cut that out with the center of the Scarlett. It's got that pretty oval. Pop that into place. Now, let me show you what I've done with the flowers. Move some things. I've created a little bit different of a flower with this pinwheel. And I just wanted to show you what you can do with this. Let me find my, there they are, hiding. What you can do, the flowers come in two pieces, so you can cut a solid or you can cut a decorative piece inside of that. But what I've decided to do was just use this piece to cut this out, and then I've taken my scissors and I've just gone around each of the little bits and trimmed away the outside. Tiny little snip on each of these. There we go. So I've got just the center bit. So I've done 2 or 3 of these, and you can bring in a little bit of glue and just layer these up. Let me get just a little bit there and offset them. There you go. And you can even bring in some smaller ones if you want. I'll just show you a little bit here, a little bit of glue. Just offset this as well, and you can add in as many as you want. So now I've got an outside piece. I can bring over my glue or my distress ink, little smoothie, and I can go around the edge, just giving just the tips of these a little bit of color, each one of them. There we go. And a little bit in the middle here. Probably, there we go, get a little bit just in the center. So I can put this together onto here and make a flower looks like this. Whoops. And with a pearl in the center. Now I've got 3 I've already done, so I'll set this one to the side. And we will bring our card back over. I've got one little one up in the top, and let me find there's the glue dots. Going to seat one of them onto a bow I've tied out of some satin ribbon. We'll just put that down in the corner, about like that. And I'm going to take the 2 largest flowers and just pop them around that. Some glue dots. Push my bow so it comes down there. And the smaller one, I'm going to offset it up in the corner, just off the top of the Scarlett die there. And you can take your greenery and just trim it down a little bit. I'll take 2 of these. There we go. And we'll go a little bit smaller. We can add some glue on. Pop that right underneath there. A little bit here, because that's the smaller flower. We can use it just a smaller bit of greenery on it. And then I've got some left and some right facing ones here. Let's put some glue on these. And they've got a really pretty beaded feature in the middle of the leaves that look just like the flowers too. So it adds nicely. Let's see, that's going to go that direction. There we go. Add a couple bits in down here, just right underneath your flowers. And you can fiddle around with it and have it be exactly how you want it to look, but that I think is really pretty. And all I've done is added some extra little pearls to the backing on your embossed background for that. So quick and easy, and I think this is a stunning card. Hope you've enjoyed today's video.